Hi everyone, and welcome to the PG Unicorn Perfectibility 2.0 project. But let's rewind 3 years back. It is the year 2020, and I did the first PG Unicorn Perfectibility. Well, technically it was the Plan B, but the link to that series is in the description if you want to check that out. Let me just talk you through how difficult and how much pain I had in order to achieve the perfectibility. Because you see, 3 years ago the model kit didn't exist. So instead I had to get first the PG Banshee for the backpack or the lion's mane, the expansion parts for obvious reasons, and a PG Phoenix for the blue cycle frame and the 2 DE shields. And on top of that, smaller things like the beam javelin and the unicorn fin, because the Banshee and the Phoenix's fins are not the same. You might be wondering as well, hang on, the Banshee parts have orange cycle frames, so how does that work? And you're right, I had to also recast the orange cycle frame with clear resin and then painted them blue, and it was a long and frustrating process. Nowadays you can just spend some money and get the perfectibility, and you can skip all those steps above and it'll actually cost less, believe it or not. Plus you can buy the banned version as well. I also had to do my own LEDs because there were only LEDs for the body, and I didn't like that all the expansion parts wouldn't light up, but only the frame would. And at the time I had basically zero knowledge with LEDs, so that was another big hurdle for me. But now you can just get all the lights from Cosmos. They have updated the unicorn lights to include lights for the expansion parts, which is fantastic, and their LEDs are all pre-wired, so they're pretty much just plug and play. They have some nice photo guide to help you install them as well. Hopefully you can see how much simpler it is to redo this project today, and I'm so happy to do this again because it's more straightforward now, and I've gained a lot more experience as well. Obviously I have to use a resin detail kit as well. This kit is by a random company called Miller 2018. The reasons I chose this kit is first, apart from this brand, there's really only the SH Studio version, so you don't get a lot of options. Plus the SH one only has parts for the body, and not the expansion parts as well. Secondly, this is a rework of the Maniac Studio kit, which went out of production a few years ago. What I like about the kit is they did all the details themselves, despite being a rework kit. Meaning they didn't recast the parts from another cast. So both fitting and details are very nice, and I do like their own design choices as well. Something new that I'm using is this photo etch set from SH Studio. This has parts to detail up the cycle frame, which is quite cool, and strangely no one has thought of that before. They add a lot of depth to the cycle frame, plus there are detailed parts for the armor too, like the back of the shields, etc. I'm also showing the steps to make the upper body. First, I do a test fit, and just as imagined, the parts fit really well. And it's been a while since I did a dress-up kit, and I really miss the no-fuss experience of them. After that, quickly give the parts a clean and brush. Once they're dry, it's time to sand and rescribe. This is to deepen the detail lines and make sure the surface is smooth. Onto painting, grey primer to check for imperfections, and as the base. For the fins metallic blue, I used a white base instead of the usual black for metallic, because I wanted the silver to be brighter throughout. After the silver is dried, I sprayed some Mr. Color clear blue and then Gaia Notes fluorescent blue on top. And to paint the photo etch parts, you'll need some metal primer, otherwise your paint will not stick. For some reason my footage of spraying clear blue on top is missing, so you just have to believe I did it. Just trust me, bro. Next step is masking for color separations. Don't feel like I really need to explain too much here, other than to plan ahead which colors go first and last. A good guide is paint from the lowest to the highest areas, meaning the most indented to the most protruded. If the surface is all relatively leveled, paint from the lightest to the darkest colors, as it is easier for darker colors to cover lighter colors and not the other way around. After all the painting, it's time to do panel lining. I really like this stage of the painting because there's not a lot that you can screw up, so it's really chill. After that is decal time. I got the blue Perfectibility decals, which look really nice. But mostly I'll be sticking with some 1/100 size decals. And again, for some reason the footage is gone. I'll do more extensive shots for the next video. Once all that's done, it's time for some nice matte coats. I went for a glossy finish last time, so I thought it would be nice to do the opposite this time. Finally onto assembly, and oh boy, piecing together the kit, the LEDs and the photo etch parts takes a lot of patience and planning. And here is the first glimpse of how the photo etch cycle frame parts look, and I really like how subtle it is. It's not too eye-catching, but you can definitely see the extra details. And man, if you have built the PG Unicorn before, you know how annoying the head assembly is. And this is how it looks so far. I wanted to show you at least the upper body, so you get a feel of what it will look like when completed. And with the LEDs on as well. One thing I really like is, because the photo etch parts don't light up, so you get some brightness contrast when the LEDs are on. But if you feel weird about it because canonically it should all light up, I've got you covered. Just use a big UV torch and boom, everything's super lit now. As a bonus, the fin and the decals are also lit too. So I hope you have enjoyed the video. The next part will be when everything is finished, so it'll probably be in January. But I've got a couple of juicy resin unboxings in due course to keep you guys entertained. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.